Oh, hi! I didn't see you there. My name's William Jordan, and this is Crosswired. In this new series, we are going to examine that phenomenon of the crossover, when two franchises are unceremoniously smashed together, sometimes with weird and wonderful results. And to kick us off, we have a noble attempt to hook up two sci-fi titans. This is Star Trek meets the Planet of the Apes in the Primate Directive. Planet of the Apes and Star Trek. Two of the biggest science fiction franchises ever to come out of the 1960s. Both enormously popular fixtures of the genre. Both inspired toy lines, comics, and many, many sequels and spin-offs. It's safe to say that both of these are enormously loved and enduring works, personal favorites of mine when I was growing up. But what are they all about? The original Planet of the Apes film is the story of George Taylor, a surly astronaut who goes out into space in search of something greater than man. His ship crashes on a mysterious planet where apes are the rulers and humankind the animals. Using this framework, Apes explores ideas of religion, war, the nature of man, and even more. The Star Trek TV series is the story of Captain James Tiberius Kirk and the crew of the Starship Enterprise as they explore the galaxy, seeking out new life, new civilizations, and generally going where no man has gone before. You can kind of see the logic of putting these two things together. Indeed, going to a planet controlled by apes is exactly the kind of thing you could picture the Enterprise crew doing in an episode of the original series. Star Trek has always used sci-fi concepts to tackle big ideas, and so it actually fits pretty well with apes in that regard. And with a title like the Primate Directive, what could possibly go wrong? Star Trek at its core is a really optimistic story, whereas Apes, not so much. It's a look at what may happen if we aren't careful. This is a stark contrast from Star Trek's aspirational look at what we can achieve at our best. Trek and Apes come from fundamentally different places. Also, the worlds and futures they portray are kind of difficult to reconcile story-wise. Now, I'm about to drop massive spoilers for a movie from 1968. But the Planet of the Apes was Earth all along. That's right, Earth, destroyed by war, has been taken over by damn dirty apes. Now, Star Trek also takes place in the future, and Earth, when it is discussed, is very much not under the tyrannical control of orangutans. As interesting as that would make the show. Needless to say, bringing these two worlds together will require some adept storytelling. So how did it all come together? Now, I'm just gonna say, massive spoilers ahead for the Primate Directive. You have been warned. The Primate Directive begins on the titular Planet of the Apes, in between the first film and its sequel, beneath the Planet of the Apes. A guerrilla general, that's G-O-R, is meeting with a secret, shadowy figure. The figure is offering advanced weaponry to the general. Now, the general is just chuffed to bits with these weapons because with them, he might be able to rule the planet of the apes. We cut to another planet, the planet of the Klingons. It doesn't have the same ring. The Klingons, sworn enemy of the United Federation of Planets and the crew of the USS Enterprise. Two Enterprise crew members, Sulu and Uhura, are undercover, stealing highly sensitive information from the evil Klingons. Nicely done, Lieutenant. If I didn't know better, I'd think you were a natural-born Klingon. After a touch-and-go spy mission, they escape with the data. Much explosions are had. Back on the Enterprise, the crew used the stolen intel to discover that the Klingons are using a device to transport to an alternate dimension. The Enterprise goes to investigate, finding their way into the alternate dimension. They find themselves orbiting the planet Earth, but not the Earth that they knew. Upon beaming down to the planet, the crew are shocked to learn that this Earth is very different from the one that they previously knew. This Earth is just a touch more apey than the one they're used to. Apes, Captain. You'd better see for yourself. And worse yet, the Klingons, led by frequent Trek nemesis Kor, are arming the gorilla soldiers, that's once again GOR, in order to continue their conquests free of annoying Federation treaties. Those guys. After an obligatory scuffle with some damn dirty apes, and a healthy amount of setting phasers to stun, the crew make their way back to the Enterprise to unpack what they just saw. The apes on the planet below show advanced thought processes and language skills. They are, I would say, roughly comparable to the humans of our own universe. They decide that they just can't abide the Klingons arming the gorilla soldiers. Kirk, Spock, McCoy, Chekhov, and the ship's 90s attractive zoologist who we've never met before beam down to the planet. Right at the foot of the famous destroyed Statue of Liberty, right after the iconic shot from the first Apes film. They find Apes protagonists Taylor and Nova on a nearby beach. And here is where the meeting of Trek's optimism and Ape's cynicism kind of starts to make sense. Upon meeting the Enterprise crew, Taylor immediately wants to use the powerful Enterprise to destroy the apes and take back the planet for the humans. Whereas Kirk doesn't want to interfere with the planet's development. Taylor is convinced he can convince the Enterprise crew of the righteousness of his cause if they just come to talk with his ape friends Cornelius and Zira. After a lively argument where Charlton Heston's over-the-top gestures seem to leap off the page, Taylor stomps off, destroys Chekhov, takes his communicator, makes it back to the Enterprise, clubs this epic mustache, steals the mustache's clothes, and then steals his way into the night to try to steal a shuttlecraft. Whilst doing this, however, he is stopped by James Tiberius Kirk. A battle ensues. Kirk's trademark jump kick is deployed. After all this violence, Kirk gives a very Star Trek speech. Suppose I give you that shuttlecraft, then what? What are you going to do with it? Start strafing the Ape City from above. Take your vengeance for what they did to you, one life at a time. You're better than that. You're better than them. And Taylor is pacified. They go back to the planet, and together with Cornelius and Zira, they hatch a plan to stop the Klingon-Gorilla Alliance. During this planning phase, Scotty kind of lets a bit of information about time travel slip, but more on that later. Thousands of years? Is that even possible? They beam Zira to Ape City to warn the ape leader, Dr. Zaius of the Gorilla Coup.
Ooh, help me, Dr. Zaius.
The loyal gorilla army rides out to stop the rebels, and the ancient law of ape shall not kill ape is preserved. This victory sets up General Ursus as the gorilla leader, again GOR, and that kind of leads us right to where we begin at the Planet of the Apes sequel. Meanwhile, the Enterprise crew, along with Taylor, Cornelius, and Zira, have a fist battle with the Klingons. The Klingons escape, but their plans are spoiled, this time. The Enterprise crew give their goodbyes to Taylor, who decides to stay on the ape world.
I left Earth for a reason, Kirk. I left because I thought there had to be something better than human society. I think your world is the same old Earth I left behind. Sure, the ships are faster, the weapons are more dangerous, but it's the same. I'm never gonna fit in there.
And after one more goodbye scuffle with the embarrassed Klingons, the Enterprise prepares to leave this universe once and for all. Just as they're about to leave, they see the Planet of the Apes explode, an event that happens right at the end of Planet of the Apes 2. Our story ends with Cornelius and Zira escaping the planet in a ship, preparing to attempt the time travel measure that Scotty taught them, and thus setting us up for Planet of the Apes 3, Escape from the Planet of the Apes. So that's the Primate Directive. How did it all work out? Honestly, a lot better than I expected. Is it silly? Sure, it is called the Primate Directive after all, but if you're like me and are a fan of both Apes and Star Trek, I think you'll have a lot of fun with this one. Congratulations! You made it to the end! Welcome to the wrap party! Be sure to grab a snack and to like and subscribe to keep on top of all this very good content. I'm William Jordan. Until next time.